I was hoping we'd have our 5th member here tonight, but she hasn't arrived yet. And just so you all know, we are now down to 5 people with the resignation of Mr. Carpenter. Since he was elected to the Board of Selectmen last week, he can only serve on one appointed committee, so he's unable to continue with us. So, with that, we have 4 members here, just a bare quorum. I'm concerned about continuances, so I was kind of waiting for Mrs. Downey to show up because, we have 4. So anyways, the meeting is going out live this evening. It will be recorded for rebroadcast, so I need to ask if anyone is recording this meeting this evening. Okay.
Here
All
she
right.
is.
Oh, very good.
Hey, Louise.
Look at the timing.
Our president was delayed at work. We start the meeting 20 minutes later.
Oh, that's fine. It's good timing.
We're just about just starting, so. Anyways, all right, so the first item on the agenda was the continued public hearing at 7 o'clock from Assad Family LLC relative to the notice of intent for the relocation and construction portion of Faith Avenue. Is there a motion to reopen that hearing?
So moved. I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Someone here to address this?
Yep. For the record, I'm Mike Scott. I'm an engineer at Waterman Design Associates in Westboro. And I haven't been at the last few meetings, and I actually am here in the stead of Glenn Kravosky, who can't be here this evening. But in the interim period, I know we provided a letter in the last week or so as a response to an earlier letter to the commission by Ms. Washburn of Washburn Wetland Consulting, and made an effort to address the questions that she had asked either in that letter or in a previous letter, or perhaps things that had come up in meetings and hearings here in the commission's hearings over the past 6 months or so. I also understand at the last meeting, which was in early April, that the intent was to arrange for a site walk to have Ms. Washburn and the commission and the proponent on site to have a look at how the attempt at the replication had greened up over the early part of the spring. And we've obviously had a great spring for growing. It seems like it's been excessively wet, so we'd very much like to arrange that field meeting. And
Well, I think that's what Mr. Kowalski thought the plan was. I don't think that we ever agreed to that.
okay,
Ms. Washburn has been out in the field. She just gave us a report today. I don't even know what time it came in. I don't know. Obviously, you haven't. We just got it too. She went out there on May 11th and May 25th to do the assessment. And anyways, basically, you don't have. Did you give him a copy, Sheila?
Oh, no, here you go.
She's basically saying that on her observations, she's actually put a flag on every wetland plant, woody shrub that she could find, and Ecotex protocol said that they had to plant 100 plants, of which she found 91 thriving. So, her assessment, long and the short of it, is that that wetland replication area is functioning as a wetland, in her opinion. That's basically what she says. I mean, you're welcome to read it, of course.
yeah.
So she's been out there twice. She actually had planned to she just submitted it yesterday, a proposal for an additional fee of $1,800 for this reassessment, which unfortunately did not get forwarded to Mr. Assad yet. So I know this is very last minute. I don't know if the board members have even had an opportunity to look at it. But we didn't go, we haven't been, I have not been to the site recently. I don't know if anyone else has been. But Mrs. Washburn she wanted to go and do her own assessment on an independent basis. So that's what she did. I don't have the photographs. She emailed them to me and I left my stuff at home. So I don't have the photographs of the plants, and I don't know if she sent them to you, Sheila. And I know Brian Waterman just responded May 21st to Margaret's letter of April 9th. And I think he pretty much, what I read from his letter was that he pretty much felt that everything that she pointed out in that letter had been previously addressed. That's what I got out of what he wrote. And that all the information had been provided. I don't know what you all thought, but that's what I got out of it.
So I guess where does that leave us? We have a new letter from Ms. Washburn, and, you know, obviously it's her third or fourth letter, and I don't think as a commission, as a group, or with the proponent, or with Ms. Washburn, there's been a meeting in the field to review what's proposed, to have a look at the consultant's findings, and obviously I think that'd be hugely beneficial, and I think that's what Glenn has been, from what I understand, he's been talking about that for a meeting or two now. You know, it's one thing to have independent reviews, and we can write letters back and forth till the cows come home, or we can go take a look at it, and I think it's the only thing that makes sense at this point. Because, you know, again, I feel like we have responded to Ms. Washburn time and again, and to the commission. Obviously, we've been in front of the planning board, and we've withdrawn that application because of the timing, wanting to resolve this issue. So we just want to get it over with so we can, either a thumbs up or thumbs down, so we can
Right.
move forward with everyone else. And I think it'd be just beneficial for everyone to go have a look at it. And
Well, I gotta tell you, just speaking for myself, I have been wrestling with this for weeks, trying to figure out how to get past the replication area being a wetland and how you can deal with this and follow the regulations. And I am just, I'm in conflict with myself. I just cannot.
Well, I think that's one of the advantages of going out there and looking at it. I mean, one of Glenn's points that that he's made since he's come on is there's clearly wetland plants out there. When we said that day one when we came in here, stuff is, when we saw it a year and a half ago, stuff was thriving. There's plenty of invasives that have come in the last year and a half. There are also, by his accounting, plenty of species that are not native to that section of the wetland in that part of town. They didn't match the specified plant material at the site. So despite the fact that they are, you know, wetland species, in fact, wet plants, they tend to be growing. His contention is it doesn't meet the definition. I think that's one of the things he'd like to have a discussion about in the field, and I think it's worth discussing. But we can, again, we can look at prints, we can look at calculations, we can look at letters. It only does so much. I mean, if you see it as a group, I think it'd be easy to make a decision after that, understanding that there's a lot of complex regulation to sort out.
Well,
But
her point is that in spite of the evaluations by Brandon Tanner and Mr. Kowalski relative to the soils, her point is that you have plants that have appeared that typically would not grow without the proper type of hydrology to support them. And she also points out in this most recent letter, which I apologize for getting it so last minute, that the invasives aren't, she says that they're still able to be removed either by hand or with a shovel. And she specifically mentions purple loosestrife and, of course, the Japanese knotweed. So you know, whatever the board wants to do, I just, at this point,
Well, look, I think we've been kicking this around for months,
yep.
going back to last year, if I recall correctly. And I think it's not unreasonable now that you know, we're well into the growing season and the weather is better to go out to the site. So I think we should take a look.
As a board or with the whole crew?
Well, I mean, that raises the question. We've had multiple presentations from Mr. Kowalski. So I mean, I think, you know, the data's out there. We've got, you know, it's sort of there's conflicting information that's present. I mean, I think we should go out and see it. I don't know, unless Mr. Scott can enlighten us on why a site visit with everyone there would sway our opinions on what the state of the conditions are there.
well, I think the one advantage is that hasn't occurred is you haven't had Ms. Washburn and myself and Mr. Kowalski in the same room at the same time, at least to my knowledge, maybe last June when this first started.
It's been a while.
And obviously, the intent is to give you information. I mean,
Right.
You know, it's not, well, of course it's to sway you, but it's to give you the information. It's to tell you what we think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our job.
Right.
You know,
Obviously.
Your role, of course, is to turn that into a decision. And I think we're all, when you hear my voice, I'm frustrated. I don't want to be back here. You know, I feel like we've been going through this, and I don't feel like we've been trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. We have genuine disagreements on the regulations and how they should be implemented, and some of it has to do with what people are seeing in the field. I think it's better that you see it. If you don't have us there, you're going to see what you see. My thought is we have someone there with the plan. We can show you where things are going to be, where the proposed new replication areas where the road, try to explain that. If you'd rather do it on your own, we'd be happy to stake it out, so that you can stake the center line of the road, we could put some approximate grades, I mean, you could have a better idea of what's in the field, that could all be done without
Well-
your participation, and you could review it that way.
I mean, for one thing, we don't even know when Margaret Washburn's going to be available.
Well, we know when she's not gonna be.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
going on vacation 2 weeks in June.
I understand that, so I mean, I think it stands to reason that we should try to arrange this before our meeting on June 11th.
Okay, whatever you want to do.
So when do you want to go out there?
When you're ready. I mean, if you want us there, I can be there we can be there any day of the week. I can't speak for Glenn. If you don't want us there, we can stake it out next week and you can have a look at it without us.
Well, any day of the week is going to be Saturday, I'm sure.
Yeah, the weather's supposed to be good on Saturday, at least according to the forecast I've seen. So are members available on this Saturday?
I know.
I gotta work from 11, but I can go.
So you could be there for, say, 9 o'clock?
Yep.
You too? How about this Saturday then?
It worked for me.
Okay.
So that's the 31st, is it?
I believe it is.
Yes.
At 9 o'clock? you said?
Yes, we'll meet you there at 9 sharp.
Is it possible for you guys to move some of the cars or make good part? Okay. Very good.
Okay,
I greatly appreciate it.
all right, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Well, wait a
you.
minute, you're going to need to continue the meeting.
I suppose we do.
Oh,
I
that's true.
assume you were set to a continuous to June 11th?
And we would be happy to continue to June 11th. I need to sign
I
something.
know, and I-
Do that.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about while the hearing is open?
No, not right now.
And if it's possible to get Ms. Washburn there, and I mean, from my perspective, it would be helpful. That's all I'm suggesting. And I
Well, we
will,
need to get the proposal over for the extra $1,800 because she's not going to come without being paid.
understood. The extra work that
She sent a proposal in for $1,800, we just got it yesterday. She was supposed to send it like 3 weeks ago.
So she's accrued additional charges for the most recent.
Right, let alone going out there for another meeting.
Sure, I understand. So if,
Is that you out there for this? And $1,800 arbitrarily?
they've been doing, in the past, she's always gotten you a proposal in advance, and you guys have actually been bringing a check over in advance.
Yeah.
But she's been doing the work because it's been coming in and she went out there on the 11th and she's out there Saturday, I guess.
What do we have scheduled for June 11th?
I think I've got 2 scheduled.
All right, so 7:30? June 11th, 7:30?
Is that open?
Well, we can schedule it for 7:30, and then it's a little bit later than that.
All right,
So is that a motion?
it is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted.
You made that motion, Michael?
I did.
And who seconded it?
Louise.
Louise, okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll
Thank
see you
you,
on
Mike.
Saturday morning then.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Yep. Good night.
Forecast looks okay right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
As okay as our forecasts have been lately.
Tell me about it.
Oh, we'll see. I'll try to get there another day because I can't go that day either.
Okay.
See if I can get someone to bring it.
Set this up over here.
Next item on the agenda was the 7:15 public hearing for James Sandstrom relative to a notice of intent for an addition at 6 Jacobs Way. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Good evening.
Good evening. Just for the record, my name is Scott Morrison from Ecotech. I'm here with Jim and Joan Sundstrom. Just to get oriented, here's Jacob's Way. Here's the cul-de-sac here. They're essentially the last house on the right-hand side of the cul-de-sac. Wetland resource areas consist of bordering vegetative wetland in the rear yard. As you can see from the topography, it's pretty steep. It drops right down to a well-defined wetland. The existing house is a driveway. The existing house, there's an existing deck to the rear of the house. What they're proposing is removal of the existing deck, proposed an addition, and construction of a new deck, a smaller deck, a larger addition, and installation of a hot tub. They're also proposing to limit grading by installing a small retaining wall along the rear of the house here with a small walkway for access. Erosion control during construction will consist of hay bales and silt fence, which are shown here. In the application, I provided a summary of how the project complies with the new bylaw. I can just kind of cursory, let me grab that so I don't miss anything. I can go through. It's the last pages of this notice of application. It's the last document. There's a construction sequence and then the specific compliance with the bylaw. First item is no construction within 25 feet of a wetland. We actually located the 25-foot buffer zone on this plan to show that demonstrate that there's no work within that 25-foot zone. The next item is no work can be proposed within 50 feet if there is wildlife habitat. This area shaded in green here is the limit of lawn. The vast majority of the work's within the existing lawn. There is a small corner here that's within kind of a landscape shrubby area, so it's either within lawn or existing landscaping. So we comply with the 50-foot offset. The next item, work within the buffer zone shall not impair the water quality, water temperature, or wildlife habitat in the adjacent water body. Again, we're doing all the work within areas of existing lawn, landscaped areas, maintaining the existing vegetation between the work area and the wetland. Therefore, we're protecting the wetland resource areas. Item D is no new point source discharges. We don't have any point source discharges associated with stormwater or anything like that. So we comply with that. Section E, again, it's got to do with stormwater detention basins. There's no detention basins or anything, so we comply with that. The next item is F. It discusses the increase in pervious surfaces and reduce groundwater recharge. Infiltration measures must be designed to maintain groundwater discharge. I actually had a long conversation with the engineer on the project. There's a slight increase in impervious surfaces. We looked at ways to try and get that to infiltrate. The problem is there's an existing drinking water well here, and stormwater management requirements don't allow infiltration within 100 feet of existing drinking water wells. So again, we've tried to limit the disturbance by installing a retaining wall to minimize that. And the soils on the site are very pervious, so we're by the way it's graded to level that area off, we feel that there'll be some infiltration as runoff makes its way to the wetland. And again, the vast majority of that's going from existing lawn to the addition. So we feel that to the extent practical, I think we're meeting that by generally maintaining the existing hydrology and allowing some infiltration to occur between the work area and the wetland resource areas. If the commission feels that that is a large change, seeing that we don't really have any alternatives, we'd simply request a waiver from that under the current bylaw. But I think we've done the best we can to address that. And the last item is simply erosion sediment controls must be utilized for the project. We've got a limit of work with erosion control barriers consisting of hay bales and silt fence. We've also established 2 areas where you can have some temporary soil stockpile areas that are within the disturbed area. It's proposed full foundation, so potentially there need to be some material removed off-site, but there'll be some temporary areas for soil stockpile, but again, any excess soil will be removed from the site. I think I've outlined everything. I'd be happy to answer questions if the commission has them.
Board members, any questions?
It seems very straightforward to me.
Did you get your DEP file number yet?
Yes.
Yes, we've got it.
Are there any
We
comments?
have it.
Nope. No comments.
None noted.
Are there any abutters or anyone of party of interest that has questions? No?
Close then.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Not a problem at all.
Fun to get.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
I don't think so. Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Okay, being it's just after 7:30, the next item on the agenda is a public hearing on notice of intent filed by Stephen Freitas from F&D Associates relative to, I think this is Colony Liquors, isn't it? Not Colonial Liquors?
They put Colonial.
You put Colonial, yeah, 683 Southbridge Street. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
One second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Julian Vorkuber from New England Environmental Design, representing F&D Associates on this project. Just pull up the site plan. This one. The proposed application is to put a proposed addition on the existing building in the actual parking lot that's right now paved. The wetlands that we're dealing with, we're in the buffer, is located to the western side of the site. It appears that at one time this was all filled back in a long time ago. And it's a steep slope coming right down to a toe where the wetlands, vegetation and soils are very clear. This is the existing building with all the parking, asphalt. Proposed addition is 40 by 40, cut right into the existing asphalt. No proposed runoff is going to be created because right now it's all asphalt and the roof will equalize what's happening pre and post. We do have a little addition, we do have some storm scepters, storm tech chambers for this piece of roof just to help with some recharge. And that's pretty much the project before you.
So it looks like it's about 5 feet from the 25-foot buffer. This thing that says 5
Yeah.
there.
I believe it's 15.59 from the property line,
Oh, I
but
see.
it would, I get a scale,
Okay.
probably is about 5 feet from that 25
Oh,
foot
I
buffer.
see. I didn't see 15.
But the asphalt is quite a bit further.
Yeah.
We're not proposing to disrupt any of that.
I didn't see anything in your filing relative to the Auburn Wetlands bylaw.
Excuse me?
I said I didn't see anything in your filing where you've addressed the Auburn Wetlands bylaw or filed the fees under the bylaw. Unless I missed something. There was also a copy of a check in your filing from the town of Leicester.
Right, that was corrected.
So I was trying to, I didn't see anything where you addressed the Auburn Wetlands bylaw at all.
We believe that what we're doing, pretty much everything is addressed because it's an existing condition and we're not creating anything
But you
more.
didn't submit the additional fees for it.
I think we
You
did.
didn't? I think so.
I believe all the fees were,
I'm sure, I usually always get all the fees
Weren't
up
there two
front.
checks for like $67 or something?
Okay.
no, there was a,
No, I've got a,
Maybe it's because we had, the notice of intent I had the town of Leicester check in it.
yeah.
right, it was
That's
$1,000.
Right,
So I've
$1,000.
got this one with the
So I need to be,
regulation fee is $750.
okay, I didn't know that,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. We did realize that when we submitted it, that was
Yeah.
the wrong town.
So you're not doing anything for stormwater management at all?
We added the Coltex for this.
Yeah,
That's it.
You have no
yes.
drainage calculations or anything?
Well, we do have a simple calculation because there is no increase from impervious to impervious. Nothing's changed. So,
Questions? No?
No.
Does anybody in the audience have any questions?
I move to close.
Second.
Going to close with no drainage calculations, no engineering report, nothing.
What is your preference?
I'm just asking. So it's a motion to close. Is a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm opposed. Hearing is closed. Thank you. Did you get your DEP file number?
yes, we did.
Yep, right here. Nope, nothing mentioned on that noted.
No comments?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Could I ask the board what happens at this point?
We
Well-
will render a decision.
Right. We have, under the law, you probably know,
I'm just asking.
we have 21 days from tonight to issue a
Okay.
decision.
Okay.
If you want to call the office tomorrow, I can tell you if they made a decision.
Okay, just in the submitted information, there is a section on stormwater management by a professional engineer stating what we did, so we didn't just
Yeah, but we
disregard
don't
it.
have anyone to review it, so.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good night. You're welcome.
Julie, you have to have a particular complaint on Sophia Drive? Was there a
On
request?
Sophia Drive, they just needed to submit an as-built, which I did receive.
Okay.
You see it?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Ta-da.
line going through the middle and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else want to look at this?
Does it say that it's in compliance with the original plan?
It wasn't the one that they had to change the lot line around because it was too close, the foundation was in the wrong spot.
Something like that.
That's one?
Was that the one? This the one? Did they have to move it?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like it because I've never, yeah, this is the, I think this is the abutting condos. Is it, does that look like it to you? I thought so. They came to some agreement with the condo association, with those people that own that condo. That was that.
So what's the rule on that? If the property is 51% in one town, then it goes with the majority?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe with the front.
Because otherwise you could end up with a nightmare of trying to comply. What if two adjacent towns have widely differing regs?
That's true. Yeah, it's a unique situation.
Jeez, that's like right down the middle too.
You know, of course, it would be nice to be able to look at the original plan.
I overlay one anyway.
Do we have that?
I don't have it with me right now. Let me see. This one, what's this one? Oh, well, this is 2013. Different scale.
This is August of 13. And this is as-built.
This
You
is
just
going
gotta
this
do
way.
something.
So, okay. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Something.
Why would
the
you
other
give us a
way.
plan that has a different orientation?
I
Yeah.
think it's even
You know, I
180.
could be wrong, but I thought there was something in the regs about
It's a different
that they're
scale
supposed to be
too,
the
Mike.
same
Yeah.
scale, I thought.
This is a 40 scale.
The one we just looked at looks tiny.
This is a 20 scale. It is tiny, and it's hard to orient.
Yeah.
Actually, this. I believe it's Sophia Drive.
Well, then we have to.
This and this. Proposed colonial house. This is that.
Oh, there are changes.
Well, I had to move it because of whatever reason.
Right, but now there's another set of stairs. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I suppose there can be changes to the.
There's a sewer and gas thing right here, so that's that.
But the relevant things, the pertinent things that would be
Right.
significant to us.
You're right, this is 20, that's 40.
Mhm.
That's a little different.
The contour lines are different, though.
Stairs, but then you're right, they have stairs.
We probably changed the grade
But
post.
Yeah, but see, the contour lines are different.
Well, yeah, I mean, they put something there. I think they put a wall there,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Well, then it's not in compliance now, is it?
I think we should have them in.
Yeah, I wouldn't accept this plan. I don't think it's in compliance. I think they may have made changes, or maybe they can explain to us how why they believe it's an as-built plan that complies with the order of conditions that we issued.
Did the same engineer do the as-built that did the original?
This is HSMT, and that is, no, Fox Hill Builders.
Well, that's not the engineering company though, is it?
No, that would be Daniel
Daniel
Tivnan.
Tivnan.
Professional
That'd
surveyor.
be, I think.
He's a surveyor.
Oh, well,
He does
HSMT,
work,
right?
yeah, I
Alright.
thought he worked for
HSMT.
HSMT.
All right.
They're the same one.
Yeah.
Again, it kind
Well,
of begs
what,
the
you
did
had
question.
to
they
ask-
have to change the lot line on there? I can't remember what happened, if they moved the house or the lot line.
But yeah, why is it
Something
different
was
orientation and different scale? That itself is kind of strange. And
Well,
if there
I'm-
are different,
Don't get confused, because it's really...
Well, that's right, I understand that, so why didn't they give us a plan with the same orientation?
So,
seems odd.
did you want to ask a representative to come to the next meeting? Is
Yes.
that what you want?
Yes, I'd send a letter and I'd make a motion to that effect. Just, in the letter, just indicate that we received the as-built plan, the scale, it's a smaller scale, it's a 20 scale instead of a 40 scale, the orientation is different. We just have questions about whether, the as-built complies with the order conditions.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? What time do you want to have them come in? What time, we've got 3 hearings now, right?
Yeah.
7:45, Sheila?
Sure. So are we asking, now that was Scott Morrison that said should he stick around, and I didn't think so.
Yeah. I didn't know he said that. I would have told him to stay.
Well, I didn't know when we were gonna be doing it, that's why I think I didn't think it was going to be an issue like that. Shouldn't assume.
Nope. You know, speaking of certificates of compliance, one thing we don't have on the agenda is a certificate of compliance for Cumberland Farms.
Right.
So, can't issue it.
Well, you'll have to make sure that's on the agenda for the next meeting.
Next thing under discussion is Tesla Motor the electric vehicle charging stations
I heard
for the
about
Auburn
that.
Mall, 385 Southbridge Street. I didn't hear about it until I got it in the packet, but I'm not quite sure what they're looking for from us. I mean, we're not going to, I don't think we're going to
They
tell
just
them
didn't know if they
where to put
needed
it.
to file anything.
Well, they're asking in the email where they should put it. One side or the
Well,
other.
one side or the other, yeah.
That sounds like asking for an advisory opinion.
You're right.
We don't do that.
No, we don't.
I think that they should make a decision and file accordingly.
I didn't realize that there were enough Tesla cars to warrant charging
I thought
stations.
that's kind of cool.
Very
Well,
cool.
I would imagine it's not just for Tesla. It'd be probably any plug-in
Yeah.
electric.
You think?
I would
Yeah.
hope it's an
So?
industry
I mean,
standard.
they have one at the Hub 99.
Do they?
Yeah.
They do?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, if you
I
have
don't
a Prius
put that
plug-in,
in.
or if you have a different
Yeah.
plug-in,
Have one
We
down
did
there?
a site visit there.
Well, I don't go there to eat, my friend.
or if you have a Chevy Volt.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Or only go to the 111 Chop House or something. Ooh.
All right.
It's not
Now,
true.
if they did put it
Take it back.
anywhere there, are they going to have to file?
They're going to have to file.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
The canal is
Yeah, right
Brooks,
there.
they're talking about the canals, I guess.
even at a minimum, a request for determination, right?
I would think. But they're asking whether they should put it on one side or the other, but
I think just asking what the board's preference was.
Don't these stations supposedly give you a full charge within like 10-15 minutes too? Something. It's got to be a really quick charge. It's pretty
So,
impressive.
I wonder what the cost is.
It'll get cheaper as they have more of them, but yeah, it's probably not cheap now.
That's the electricity too.
so how do you wish to respond?
Maybe advise Ms. Parrott that we don't give advisory opinions, and that they should file a request for determination of applicability. and since she's from Michigan, she's not gonna know what that is, and so maybe they'll contact someone who does.
They should make a choice of where they're gonna locate it and file.
Exactly.
Is that in the form of a motion?
It is.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so voted.
There is one of those cars around town, the black.
Does
I
it?
think I've seen at
I've
least
seen it.
one on the road.
Yeah, it's sleek.
Slick.
Very sleek.
Miscellaneous, the Auburn Middle School, I don't think that there's anything there to discuss at this point. I'm not aware of any issues. 11 Bridge Street, the tree cutting issue from last year, I didn't know the past couple of weeks if anyone had been out there or
Did
not.
anyone do any site visits?
No. Perhaps on Saturday we can do a swing by.
Filing fees on the Auburn Water District, what's that?
That was, Comprehensive Environment was wanting to submit a notice of intent. They're putting an addition onto the water department plan on West Street, and they wanted to know if the $750 fee would be waived since it's a town project.
But it isn't a town project. The Water District is a
Right.
quasi-government agency, it's not part of the town government. We've been through this before, and I told you to look at the past files,
Yeah, okay.
because they're not exempt as far as I know. They're not part of the town government.
Okay.
Do we need to send them a letter?
I don't know
just
about
send
the
an email.
bylaw, what you want to do about that, but
What do you mean about the bylaw?
well, the fee's under the bylaw,
Oh,
you know.
Well, that's what I was talking about, the $750 fee is the,
We didn't exempt anybody, I don't think, under the bylaw, did we?
No.
So,
Ah, I think, yeah, it's there for a reason.
okay.
all right, so we still have the site visits to do, Hill and Prospect, Appleton, Magna Vista, Cumberland Farms, we've got to get that certificate of compliance issued. I don't know, you all
Did
saw
anyone
the...
do a site visit at Cumberland?
No.
No, okay, because that was supposed to happen
That'll
too.
take 5 minutes.
Um,
We just did one.
I don't know whether any of you saw the email from Margaret about her vacation schedule. She's asking if we can go out. I don't know when, is one of the hearings you have on June 11th for Stonebridge?
Yes.
Okay, because she's asking if we can go on a site visit before that, and I didn't even know we had it scheduled, so
Let's look at that.
I don't know what you want to do.
Should we try to call her
Yeah.
to see if she's available this Saturday?
yes.
Sounds like a
Yes,
good
I was
idea.
thinking that,
Okay.
because then she won't be here for this one, is that correct? The 11th, she's going to be on vacation.
Right. But then we could do the Stonebridge inspection the following Saturday,
Okay.
which would be what? It's June 8th?
7th.
7th?
All right, I guess I'm confused. We were talking about her doing,
She's going to be gone June 7th through the 15th.
yeah,
All right.
I know, but I thought you meant for her to do Stonebridge as well as Diamond on Saturday.
If she's available on
Before the
Saturday,
hearing.
we can,
Okay.
sure, we can do Stonebridge on Saturday too.
Okay. Stonebridge and...
The enforcement order on 12 and 20, we're just carrying forward. The minutes of May 14th, Sheila doesn't have them done. Next meeting is on June 11th, as everyone knows. Is there anything else? Oh, we gotta do
Decisions.
our decisions, yes.
They've been out.
Yep. That's the Sun Street.
On Sandstrom, on Jacob's Way. And you gotta remember, they asked for a waiver request on one item. I didn't write down.
Well, I think Scott was saying whether we thought, I think it was more of an open question than anything else, wasn't it?
Six things. One of the last ones.
It was the next to the last one. They're asking for a waiver on.
Where the proposed work within the buffer zone will increase impervious surface and reduce rainwater discharge. I don't know.
They did a good job at staying out of the
Infiltration
25-foot
within 100 feet of
zone.
the drinking water.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Yeah.
because they can't get any closer because of that well, it's within 100 feet. So perhaps you could do the regular order of conditions and then add something to the end of it. If the board were inclined to grant that waiver.
There you go. Okay. So I would move that we issue the standard order plus the following
Just one
special...
sec, just
I'm sorry.
a second. Okay. Okay.
Standard order plus the following special conditions. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 11, and then the board waives any requirement for a structural infiltration system to be constructed given the site condition where the proposed project results in a small increase in impervious surfaces in the 100-foot buffer zone period. Is that all right?
Given the site conditions of the proposed project, what was that?
Will result in a small increase in impervious surfaces in the 100-foot buffer zone compared to existing conditions.
So your motion is a standard plus 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 11, and the additional one about the waiver.
Correct.
5. Did you say 5? 1, 2, 3, 5,
5, 8, 9, 11.
Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Do you have a signature
Yes,
page?
I do.
Signature page, Mike.
Okay. Now we have this filing from Quality Liquors,
Right.
F&D Associates.
Yep. I would move for Colony Liquors that we issue a standard order of conditions plus the following special conditions. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 11.
And they didn't have any waiver requests that I saw.
They did not.
Okay.
Now, which one of the conditions has to do? Not kidding this time. Which one has to do with snow storage? Because one thing I noticed on that plan is it looked like their snow storage area was within the 25 and the 50. So I don't know if that's going to have to change with this addition.
They didn't ask for a waiver.
Yeah,
So,
because it looked like their snow storage area was not totally outside the buffer zone.
Do you want to when you have which one of the conditions is it that says it's no storage?
Number 9. No storage of snow within the 100-foot buffer zone of wetlands.
Is that the,
Obviously, we wanna
because
say
it
no.
almost, I'm trying to remember if it was entirely within the 100-foot.
You didn't include that in your, you had 1, 2, 3, 5, 8.
I
Yeah.
said 9.
You did?
You did?
You did? No, I don't
No,
have
you said
that.
Well-
8 and 11.
All right, I'm sorry, then I meant to.
Okay,
Okay.
8, 9, and 11.
Yeah, their entire snow storage area is within the 100-foot
Is
buffer.
in the buffer.
The whole thing.
Okay.
So they may have to.
They're gonna have to find someplace else to put it.
Yeah, even if they have to truck
But
it
that's
outside.
not even.
Or they'll ignore the condition and we'll have to issue an enforcement order.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty, well, you know.
So it looks like
pretty
they've just
tight.
gotten
It's very
used to
tight.
storing it within the.
Although that is in the back of the property.
Yeah, but that's where the buffer zone is.
But that's where the
It's
wetland is.
totally within the buffer zone.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Well, that's where
and
they
some
wanna-
of it's even within the 25
No, I know.
and the 50. Yeah.
So, I mean, condition number 9, as you said, it says no storage within 100 feet. So
Mhm.
Okay.
hopefully they adhere
Oops.
to that, and if they don't, we'll have to issue an enforcement order, right?
I mean, it's a standard order. We typically put it into our orders of conditions.
Right.
And there's a good reason for it, so, yeah, I would definitely include it.
We'll just have to keep an eye on it, you know? All
So
right,
would
then-
I make, we've got that special condition, so
So-
you wouldn't want to add anything?
Let me just repeat so that we're clear.
Okay.
Standard order plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, and 11.
Yep.
And Louise, you seconded that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Anything else?
Sign.
It's quite a
So-
construction site over at the middle school. I've been by
Is
there a
it?
number of times. The boat ramp, it appears, for the duration is officially off limits. So that's
Oh,
that's
really?
how they're dealing with that. Is it's the gate is locked, and I would suppose if someone has a kayak or something, they just carry it around the gate. But there's no way for someone to put a boat in there because the gate is across it.
Wow.
I don't know where people would park their boat trailer right now anyway, which is what I asked before. But
I've heard that they're building an Outback Steakhouse where the Abdas was.
Yeah, they are.
Is that true?
yeah, I heard that they knocked that
Yeah.
down. I hadn't even seen that.
Yeah, the steel's already going up for the new one. the new
Yeah,
building.
that was then Bickford's, then it was something else.
TJ's Steakhouse.
Another outback?
TJ's
Maybe two outbacks in
Yeah.
Auburn?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Unless they're planning on doing, is the other one going bye-bye, or?
Probably.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
They probably don't want to pay rent anymore.
Was everybody here for the signing of 41 Auburn Street Order of Conditions? Because I'm missing that signed order.
You don't have the signed
Which
document? For Packagug Acres Daycare Center.
Was
Odd.
everyone here that was there, that voted?
Dan would have been
Are
right.
you saying that one of us did not return the signature page?
Oh, no, I'm not saying that at all. It's-
She's
I'm
just saying that
thinking
she
it
doesn't
might
have
be
it.
on my desk somewhere in the mess, and
It'd be
I,
highly unusual for us not to pass it around.
yeah, I'll get it
Highly.
back to me.
Well, if we need to do one, let's
What
do it.
meeting was this?
The last meeting.
Was it the
I
last
wasn't
one?
there, so I
It'd be
couldn't
more
sign
likely
it.
that a gremlin stole it.
That's right, Chuck can't sign it because he wasn't here.
And Dan signed
You
it,
weren't
right?
here
Dan
either,
was
so-
here,
So,
but
yes.
Dan was-
You better
So
find
it
it.
Two of the 5 of us weren't here last meeting, so.
Yeah,
Yep, you better find it.
okay. And this one is
Hmm.
6:30, whatever.
Shenanigans.
Not necessarily.
Anything else?
I can't think of anything else. I'd move to close. Or
I'll
move to
second
adjourn,
that.
rather.
Same
All those in
difference.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
All right.